Hey, you guys, welcome to my new apartment. Bitch, turn up. We finally fucking made it, yo. After all of these years, bitch, we are here. Yes, you guys, I'm in my new apartment, my first apartment ever. Everybody clap it up. I just turned 20, like literally as soon as I turned 20. Woo. This could not come any fucking sooner. Okay, any fucking sooner. So yes, you guys, I am in my first apartment. I just moved here. Literally, I moved here on July 4th. Okay, that is when my lease started. And you guys can see I'm kind of decorating it. You might hear a little bit of an echo. Okay, ain't no furniture in here. Okay. This is a realistic version of what an apartment looks like when you're a regular person and not an influencer with a lot of money. So yeah, I just moved here like 2 days, like a day ago, I think. What day is it today? It's the 5th. Yeah, I literally moved here yesterday. And I'm gonna say this: moving into my own apartment wasn't necessarily my choice. I'm gonna make this video basically to tell you guys why I moved into my own apartment, why this was so urgent, why I'm so fucking happy that this happened, and also why I will never go back to living with my family, or the reasons why I can't go back to living with my family, okay? But first and foremost, if you have purchased a reading from me and I have not fulfilled the reading, please understand I did literally just moved, okay? I know I'm not bullshitting. I'm at a very hectic point in my life. I know it seems like I'm always making excuses for being absent, but you guys, literally, I was on the cusp of homelessness, okay? So, anyways, please, I will fulfill your reading within this week. I promise. Just please bear with me one moment. Y'all can literally see how tired I've been. Okay. But yeah, this is my own apartment, y'all. I'm in a one bedroom. Okay. That's all I could afford. And I love that for me. I don't really need a big space. But yeah, this is my apartment. And I'm going to be telling you guys why I moved into my own apartment, how this all came about. And yeah, especially for those of you, because I know there's many people who watch me excuse me, who are in similar situations that I was in. Um, Aging into adulthood is not easy at all. Like, it's never easy. It's not something that is an easy process, and it's even worse when you have family members, especially parental figures, who are making it worse. Okay, so let's start from the beginning, right? I even wrote down reasons why I cannot go back to living with my family. I suggest anybody do this when they're exiting a harmful, toxic situation, just so you can remind yourself why you left the situation in the first place and why you can't go back. Because sometimes nostalgia is the strongest drug. And when we think back to certain things, it's natural for us sometimes to think back to the positive things and not the negative things. All right. So I'm gonna be sharing this list with y'all real quick, but let's take it back from the beginning, right? It all started when I quit my job, right? So I don't know if y'all know this. If you were here from when I was in Florida, then you would know I have not worked a job in a year. Before my last job, I hadn't worked a job in a year. Ever since I moved to Florida, I had the job and then I got into a car accident. They fired me, and I haven't, honestly, I simply didn't want to. I just didn't want to work a job. I could have probably worked a job down there, but I just simply did not want to. All right, so I was jobless for about a year, and then I came down here. Now, this is very important for the backstory, right? The reason why I came back to live with my mother and my stepdad in Pennsylvania is because back in Florida, where I was living, my aunt physically attacked me, and her dog also physically attacked me at the same time, leaving me with open wounds, blood, cuts. I literally had to go to the doctor to get it checked out. So I didn't know bitch, I didn't know if I was gonna get rabies or what. But I went to the doctor, everything, and that was just a really traumatic situation for me, and I did not feel safe. So, rightfully so, unfortunately, I came back to live with my mother. Now, this is also very important to the story. I don't have much family, you guys. I do have family, but we don't talk to each other like that. We do not talk. Like, I grew up where family gatherings were very rare. The only time my family gathered is if somebody died, or once in a blue moon, a fucking holiday like Thanksgiving or something. You know what I mean? Like, rarely ever saw my family, specifically my mom's side of the family. I don't have much people to rely on. And so that is why I returned back living with my mother. All right. Now, I'm going to let you guys know why I left my mother and why I went to Florida in the first place. Because for some reason, everybody always asks me that. Like, why did you leave in the first place? You're going to see why. Hang on tight. Okay. This is kind of like a little story time, right? So whatever, I got bit the fuck up, bruised really badly, and I came back here, right, in Pennsylvania. Now, when I came back here in Pennsylvania, I was like, you know what? I already had it in my head. I gotta get my shit together. I gotta get my shit together. I gotta get my own place because I cannot fathom living with my mom. My mom is no shade, mentally unstable. Her mood swings are very drastic, and that is not an energy that I can be around. Also, let me plug myself in here real quick, y'all. Ooh, I'm gonna save it for the end. This is inappropriate. Okay, I'm gonna save it for the end. All right, so boom, yeah, my mom's mood swings is very, very drastic. I'm at the point where I'm starting to think she has bipolar disorder. Like, no shade. Okay, disclaimer, warning. Yeah, I think she has, excuse me, I think she has bipolar disorder. And I know some people say, like, oh, you shouldn't be out here diagnosing anybody. But if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, then baby, it's a duck. It's not a goose. It's most likely a duck. It could be a goose, but it's most likely a duck. Let's be real here. Because even these people with degrees don't know what the fuck they be talking about. Do you know how many times people get misdiagnosed by people with degrees? Like, anyways, she has some type of mood disorder, and just thinking back to all of that, it made me kind of hesitant to come back living with my mother. But the reason why I kind of got over it was because when I was living in Florida, like a month or so, like 3 months in, like it was a while since I had been living there, right? One day my mom called me and she gave me what I thought to be a genuine apology on her and behalf of my stepdad, because before, and again, I'm gonna get into it. You gotta wait, okay? You gotta wait. Before all of this, when I was living with my mom, okay, I lived with my mom for the entirety of my high school year. Middle school, I lived with my father. I ended up leaving my father's, aka my grandmother's house, because my father tried to kill me, which was very traumatic. Yes, he tried to kill me. He almost choked me out. Like, seriously, I almost died. So that is why I came back living with my mother. When I came back living with my mother, her mental state was out of whack. Like, again, her mood swings, her anger issues. Okay, my mom knows this as well. She suffers with anger issues. She admitted this. She needs to take anger management classes. She put me through a lot. I'm talking about some days, like literally, I was a teenager as well. Like, not only was I trying to process trauma, like my father trying to kill me, but also I was in a new place like PA. I don't know many people here. I don't have any friends. On top of that, I was homeschooled because I came back on in 8th grade, and I had decided, like, it's 8th grade. Like, girl, I only have 1 year left of middle school. Like, why do I need to go to actual school? I kind of regretted that. But anyways, and my mom was also pregnant, which I think had a huge role to play, right? My mom would take things from my room. And when I say take things from my room, she would take everything. Like, one day we were having like this little disagreement or whatever. It wasn't serious, right? And so whatever, I went back into my room to finish my schoolwork because again, I was homeschooled around this time. This was 8th grade. I was probably like 15, 14. I went in my room and I guess I like either sucked my teeth or I slammed the door. It was one of the two. One of the two. I think it was I sucked my teeth, right? So I went in my room, I sucked my teeth. This lady came back, yelled at me. She took everything from my room. I'm talking about the desk I was doing my schoolwork on, the desk I needed to do my schoolwork on. Like, it was literally a requirement. She took it, threw it out the room, it broke. The chair, she took it, threw it out the room, it broke. She took everything. She even threw one of my things and it caused a hole to be in the wall. She put a hole in my wall, all because I sucked my teeth. Keep this in mind. Half the shit she disciplined me for when I was like around my teenage years living with her, it was bullshit. Like, it was nothing. I'm not a bad person. I wasn't a bad kid. I'm very easy to deal with. My mom has serious anger issues and she really needs help. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm like, she needs help. She took everything from my room. Everything. I'm not joking, you guys. The only thing she left was the bed. Even the bed was bare. I'm talking about she took my pillow, my sheets, my books, my phone. She used to love taking my phone, right? My phone, she took everything from my room. All because I sucked my teeth. She called me the bitch. She called me a B word. She called me a bitch. This was the same argument where she called me a bitch, and I will never forget that. Yes, my own mother called me a bitch. Serious. And you guys see why I'm saying she needs help, right? These are the parents I was blessed with, y'all. Both parents had anger issues. Y'all might be, if you watched my dad, quote unquote, um, abuse me. If y'all watch that video, y'all are starting to see the similarities, right? When we meet people in life, we tend to meet people that mirror our same traits, whether it is either a direct reflection or an opposing, opposites attract kind of situation. Anyways, right? Very similar behavior. And that was multiple instances she did that, right? Little things I did, and she would overreact to the max, right? Sometimes in the beginning, my stepdad would come in to defend me, but not really. Like he basically kind of defend me, but not do too much. You know what I mean? And at one point, I think it was one day my mother was yelling at me and she was going in. I'm talking about she was going in on some bullshit. I can't even remember, y'all. Ask me what the fuck I did to make her so mad back in the day. I literally cannot tell you what it is. I don't remember what she used to yell at me for because it was never that serious. Right? So she got mad at me one day, started going in, and this is back in the day. This is all gonna correlate, okay? She got mad at me one time back in the day, yelling, going in. My stepdad was there to witness it. I really didn't do anything, to be honest. Like, she was already mad that day prior. And what I felt like personally was that she was just using me as an excuse to take out her anger, right? I was an emotional punching bag for her at that point. And so my stepdad seen it and he was kind of like, yo, like, I don't think it's right that you yelling at her like this. Like, just because you already having a rough day doesn't mean you get to take out your anger on her. Y'all, ever since that day, my quote unquote stepdad, aka her man, he has never come in to defend me since. That was the first and last time I've ever seen him defend me. Period. Because what she told him in that moment in front of me too, she said, "Oh, you can't be doing that. Whose side are you on? You can't defend her in front of me because now she's gonna think it's okay to disrespect me." Mind you, I'm just sitting there. I'm literally just sitting there taking this shit. Like, I'm already like, y'all. I was processing so much trauma because my father trying to choke me out was not that wasn't even the word. Like, that was the tip of the iceberg. But before that, there was so many things he did to me before physically abusing me. I was processing my trauma. And on top of that, I'm in a place I don't have no friends. Majority is white people. Where I grew up around black people, I don't have no problem with the male community. But I grew up around black people, so I'm a fish out of water. You understand? I don't see people through color. But at the end of the day, I was, out of my comfort zone. It took a little bit for me to adjust. So I'm going through all of this shit, and you're using me as your emotional punching bag, right? This is where I became the black sheep. So he defended me that one time, y'all. I ain't see this man defend me since. Literally. And it's been years. I ain't seen him defend me since. That's the dynamic she created. Soon after, my stepdad joined in and they used to tag team me and then gaslight me about it, right? Imagine you have two adults yelling at you at the same time constantly. Keep in mind, I'm still talking about back when I was going through my high school years, right? And eighth grade. When you have two adults yelling at you constantly, what does that feel like? Bitches ain't WWE, bitch. That you can't tag team me. It starts to feel like tag teaming, right? And so I used to express that. I was like, yo, I feel like y'all are not hearing me out. When we used to have arguments, it was never on some like, okay, let us actually listen to what Soraya has to say. It was just like they were so hell bent on defending each other, they weren't even trying to listen to what I was gonna say, right? Like what I was saying was going through one ear and out the other, right? You know the term, well, I studied psychology, right? Active listening is when you actually listen to somebody when they talk and you take that information in and you digest it properly. When you listen, that's listening actively. They were listening to respond. When you listen to respond, you're only listening so you can have a comeback, right? That's like if I'm arguing with you. It's almost like, think of it like when the presidents or whatever political leaders, think of a political debate, right? A lot of politicians do this, right? When they have debates, they don't necessarily truly listen to what the other person is saying. They're only listening to respond and defend themselves, right? It comes off as very defensive, very ignorant, like talking to a brick wall. And that's exactly what it was like. They just used to sit there, defend each other, and then I would tell them, hey, I would get frustrated. And sometimes I'd even start raising my voice because, again, I was 15, 16, and I had two grown ass adults yelling at me at the same time. How the fuck? Like, nobody's gonna want to deal with that. And they used to gaslight me, talking about, no, it's not tag teaming. That's just how you're taking it. No, it is tag teaming. Moving on. All of that, right? Considering all of that, and mind you, I didn't even go in depth into the shit that happened to me, right? I'm not even I'm that's not even the tip of the iceberg of what they did to me back in the day. So much shit happened. I kind of like, it's bleeding all together. I can't really remember all of it, right? But I'll say this, right? Because that was my mother. My stepdad was he was no saint either, right? My stepdad, aka her man. He was no saint either. I remember one day, this was during COVID. I remember because I had transferred to a new high school. Keep in mind, when I was with my mom, we were moving constantly. Every single year, we were moving to a new home because they were struggling financially. And I'm not necessarily shaming them for that. But again, more mental stress as I'm still trying to process everything, the trauma. I don't really have a lot of friends because, again, we are moving all the time. And this time when we moved, it caused me to move out of my school district. So I had to go to a new high school. And this new high school, obviously, I couldn't make any friends because what I said earlier, it was COVID. We were doing everything online. So I was in my room and I think I was just chilling. Matter of fact, this wasn't even my room. We were in my stepdad's dad's house. And basically, like, we were kind of staying there until they got themselves together, right? Then, meaning my mom and my stepdad, right? And so I was just in the room and I was chilling. I was chilling. I think I was just like on my phone or I was playing a video game or whatever the case may be, right? And so my stepdad comes in and he's like, yo, can you watch? I think it was my little brother or my little sister. And I was kind of annoyed because, again, I grew up, I don't know if y'all know this, but I grew up an only child. I was raised a single child. I'm the oldest and the first for both of my parents. They had me young and extremely dumb. Okay, so I'm not like I'm not used to. It took me a while to adjust to being the older sibling, right? When you are the eldest sibling, you don't have any, you don't get any grace. There's no sort of grace. You're expected to be the role model all the time. You're expected to teach your siblings all the time. And it's like, I'm still learning myself and you want me to be a leader for somebody when I can't even lead myself for real. Anyways, right? So he asked me to watch my younger sibling. Long story short, I just kind of was like, ugh, like I wasn't really feeling it, but whatever, right? I took my youngest sibling, whatever, right? He came back and I don't even know what the fuck he we were arguing about. I don't know how it started. All I know is that he asked me to watch my youngest sibling and I just wasn't really feeling it, but I wasn't really like, you know what I mean? But I was just like, I don't want to do it, right? Whatever. So something about, he gave me my younger sibling, and I don't know, I kind of gave my younger sibling back to him, but he claims the way that I did it, I was being forceful. Now, was I being probably like a little bit like, yeah, but I would never put my siblings in harm's way. Like, I don't know what's up with them always trying to perpetuate the stereotype that I'm some evil bitch, but I'm not. Anyways, I give him my youngest sibling. I'm telling y'all, this is all going to add up, okay? This is about how my stepdad did me wrong as well, because it wasn't just my mom. They both together did some fucked up shit. Okay. I kind of gave him my youngest sibling, and he claims I threw I think it was my baby sister, or I don't know if it was my little brother or my little sister, but he claims I threw whoever onto him, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I did not. Like, you're just being dramatic and you're looking for a reason to argue. So whatever, he's in my room talking big shit. Notice how I'm the bigger person, right? I get up and I walk away. I'm like, okay, whatever. I get up and I'm walking down the stairs. Now, mind you, The stairs in her man's house, right? Because I don't even want to claim this dude as my stepdad. The stairs in this man's father's house is carpeted, right? If you know anything about carpeted stairs, it's easy to slip. So as I'm going down the stairs, he comes out of the room I was staying in with a dirty diaper in hand. I think that's what it was. He wanted me to change them, and he didn't want me to watch them. I think he just wanted me to change them or something. Anyways, he comes out of the room with a dirty diaper in hand, and he threw the dirty diaper at me while I was walking down the stairs. I cannot make this up, y'all. This is the truth. I'm not over exaggerating anything. He threw it at me, and where he threw it, it kind of landed at my feet, and I slipped a little bit, and I almost fell off the stairs. Like I almost fell to the bottom. Mind you, these stairs are leading to the first floor of the house. There's the first, the second, the basement, and the attic, right? I was going down to the first floor of the house. So the stairs is kind of a long set of stairs. And I almost busted my head because this grown ass man can't control his emotions, right? This talking about this is getting me tight all over again, right? I slipped and I fell. Almost. I almost slipped and fell. I thankfully I grabbed onto the railing and that's what kept me from falling. So I'm thinking, oh hell no, like this grown ass man is sitting here like throwing shit at me. And y'all know how I feel about men and physical aggression and male aggression, period. Just watch the video of my father abusing me physically. Watch that video and you're gonna know why I feel a certain way, right? So I'm like, oh hell no, right? So I go downstairs to tell my mom because like, why is this grown ass man throwing shit at me, right? I go downstairs to tell my mom, and can y'all believe what this bitch said? I told her, yo, like I almost said his real name. Me and your man had an argument, and he threw a diaper at me as I was going down the stairs, a dirty diaper. Now, thankfully, it wasn't filled with shit. It was a pee pee diaper, but still, like that's disgusting. And so I tell her, and she's like, "Oh, I would have done the same thing. You deserved it." Y'all, I can't make this shit up. She said, I would have done the same thing. You deserved it. So moving on, right? Let's take it, let's forward the situation now. Let's forward it up. Before I moved back, right? Why did I feel so comfortable, right? At first I was hesitant, but then I ultimately decided, okay, let me move back. What was the ultimate factor as to why I moved back? Well, my mom gave me what I believe to be a sincere apology for the shit she did in the past. You know, she was like, I'm so sorry for what me and insert her man's name did in the past. You know, it was messed up. We didn't need to do all that, da 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 da. And I'm like, you know what? I felt seen for the first time. For the first time, I felt like, wow, they're actually listening to me. You know, they're actually not trying to gaslight me and see I really wasn't a bad kid. I really did not deserve half the shit y'all did to me. I was a troubled child. Yeah, I was traumatized for sure, but I did not deserve all that. So ultimately, I decided, you know what? Let me take a chance. You know, she gave me an apology. I don't feel like she'll be on the same bullshit she was before. Let me go and see what was going on, right? So, boom. I go down there, blah, 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 get my job. And if you guys have been watching me for a while, for those who haven't, I was working at a call center, and this call center was damn near, even though I was basically a customer service rep, we were working in sales. Okay. I don't care what nobody says, we were working in sales. It felt like sales. They were pressuring us to do mental gymnastic and emotionally manipulate clients on the daily. Mind you, early in the morning. Baby, we just here to get paid. I don't got time for all of that. They want us to do all sorts of mental gymnastics and manipulate clients all day long so they can keep their fuck ass services. When truth be told, these clients are getting scammed, and that's why they want to cancel, right? My job, our job was to try to stop clients from getting canceled. Now, before I talk about, me quitting, I want to let y'all know I was not the only one who quit and I wasn't the only one complaining about the job, right? So let's before we start getting into how they quote unquote claim or her man claimed that I was lazy and that's why I quit. Let's dead that shit real quick. Everybody else on the job was saying the same thing. It wasn't just me. And I've worked multiple jobs before, jobs where I stood on my feet the full shift. Yes. So me being lazy, out the question. It was very draining. Like I forgot what video I did, but I did a video and you could literally see it on my face how drained I am. I think it's the video with the white shirt. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna finish 1 week out. It's not even like I quit abruptly. I was thinking about it. For a whole week, I gave myself a week. And I said, I'm gonna finish this one extra week and then I'm gonna quit. And that's what I did. I quit. I was hesitant to tell my mom because I already knew. I already knew how they was finna be. I already knew, like I knew. So whatever. I quit my job. I felt so much better. It felt like a breath of fresh air, like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, right? Boom, I tell them, they find out. I don't really even tell them, they just find out because they see I'm not getting ready for work anymore. And they was like, oh, we need to have a talk. Like as soon as I told or basically confirmed that I wasn't going back to work because I quit, my mother told me we need to have a talk. I hate whenever she says this because whenever she says we need to have a talk, it's never really a talk. She sits there and she lectures me and I just have to sit there and be quiet. That's not a talk, baby. That's a lecture. Okay, I went to college for 1 semester. I don't need a lecture. Okay, if I wanted to go be lectured, I would go to college again. I'm not doing that shit. I don't want to sit there and be lectured at all day long. It's like she's talking at me. It's not a mutual back and forth like how a normal conversation is supposed to be, right? So when she told me we need to have a talk, I'm already thinking, here we go again, right? Same old shit. So they tell me, oh, they don't think it was wise or smart of me for me to quit my job, and not have anything else lined up. Da 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 da. That's just it's reckless. Blah blah blah. Her man is calling me lazy. Oh, I'm lazy. You just didn't want to work. You just didn't want to do it. How was the job too draining for you? But you could still play Xbox on the game. Yes, y'all. They were saying all of that to me. All of that, right? Does that sound like a real conversation? I don't think so. So, anyways, you know, just antagonizing me, blaming me, because they are so brainwashed to think that just because you work at a job, your job is entitled to all your time and energy. And that's simply not true. Period. That's simply not true. You can work a job and still have your personal life. Just because you want money doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your entire being, right? They are brainwashed and they're so brainwashed to the point where they're defending a random ass fucking corporation they've never worked at, right? For all they know, I could have been getting abused at work, but you're gonna sit there and defend it because what? Money, money, money. So yeah, they asked me why I quit, but again, they're not really talking to talk and understand. They're talking to respond and antagonize me. Specifically, her man, he asked me why did I quit, and I told him I was getting burned out, and he was like, "Oh, you don't know what burnout is. I'm a mechanic. I work 40 plus hours. That's burnout." Well, yeah, you're also a grown ass man with a family to feed. I would hope you be working hard to feed your fucking children, bitch. Like the fuck? He always do that. Every time we get into an argument, leave it to her man to sit there and try to discredit every single thing that I've been through, downplay every single thing that I've been through just because I didn't go through what he went through. And I told him that numerous times to stop comparing my life to yours because we are three, all of us, three different people with three different circumstances, three different cards we were dealt with. Stop doing that. But yeah, he discredits me. And I know y'all are like, what is your mom doing in between all of this? Sitting there nodding her head like a lap dog. Yes. Just sitting there nodding her head like the lap dog she is, you know, doing all of that, talking about how I'm reckless, blah, 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 blah. Now, mind you, the reason why I got this job in the first place was to get a car and an apartment, right? I wanted the car first and then an apartment. Again, it's not like I just willy nilly quit with nothing to my name. I saved up each and every check that I had, and we were getting paid weekly. Weekly. So I saved up each and every check. I had enough to get a car. Funny thing is, I actually went to purchase a car, and the only reason why I could not go through with it was because I did not have proof that I was a resident in PA since I had just moved to PA. I did not have any physical proof. I needed an ID. I only had my Florida driver's license, and they said you cannot buy it with a Florida driver license. You need a PA license. And in order to get a PA license, I need to say I live here, and I can't do that. So because I can't say that I live at their house because I wasn't on the lease legally. So that's the only reason I was not able to get that car. Besides that, baby, I would have had a car to my name. So I don't know how reckless that is. And the thing is, I was going to use that car to drive me to my next job. Does that sound reckless to you, or does that sound pretty well thought out, right? That's a pretty well thought out plan. But to them, because I wasn't slaving away, and this is exactly why I preach against hustle culture. Do not deplete your life and subject yourself to only working. There's so much more of life to live besides just working a job, you guys. Anywho, they go in, and this is taking place on Juneteenth. Juneteenth, right? Mind you, in the midst of this argument, my stepdad calls me a slave. Now, her man is white. He's mixed with some Hispanic as well, but he's white. Okay, like just because he is partially Puerto Rican doesn't mean he's black. Okay, he's white. He's white. And he called me a slave on Juneteenth, right? Now, what happened was, again, he was talking about I'm a slave. He was talking about I'm lazy, this, that, and the third. Oh, you just didn't want to work. How can you still play video games, but you can't work this job? Video games is a stress relief for me. And remember the video game part, y'all, right? Because I'm gonna bring that up towards the end of the video. Video games is a stress relief for me. You know how some people they get out of work, they go on a cigarette break, they smoke some za, maybe drink some beer. My form of stress relief is either drinking tea or playing video games, right? And that's not necessarily a bad habit to have, right? I'm not constantly on video games all day, every single day. I wasn't on video games all day, every single day. It was only when I got off work, took a shower, da da da, did all my spiritual shit, and then I would play video games and then go to bed. Like right before I go to sleep, I'll just play a game or two because that's all I could do because I was tired. Um, but yeah, and so I told him, I'm like, I can quit any job that I want to, because he was like, you can't just quit a job, da da da, and I was like, I could quit any job I want to. Like, I have free will. Your free will does not go away when you are employed. You can still do whatever the fuck you want to. And I was like, yeah, I'm not a slave to whatever job I work at. And he was like, yes, yes, you are a slave. On Juneteenth, on Juneteenth, mind you, this isn't his first offense of being very racially insensitive. We had an argument prior, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, of why I wash my hair in the bathroom sink. Y'all like the dumbest shit. You see the type shit I'm talking about? Y'all see why I moved out, right? The dumb type shit I'm talking about. Mad because I'm washing my hair in the bathroom sink. I gave him mad reasons why, right? First of all, my hair sheds a lot, right? Even though my hair is shorter now, it's always gonna be thick. It's always gonna be thick and curly. So my hair sheds a lot whenever I wash it, and I don't want to deal with all of that in the shower. The hair falls all over the place, and then I spend more time in the shower trying to get the hair up and clean it up, so I don't clog the drain. And it's just easy when I'm over the sink. I can just scoop it up, put it in the trash, right? Number two, it's also a lot quicker when I do it in the sink, right? I'm not washing my body. I don't have to worry about hair falling on my body. I just dip my head in. I'm not wasting water. I turn the water off when I shampoo and condition. Like I gave him so many reasons, and he said, your hair is not like your hair is not hard to deal with, because he has mixed children now, and my little brother and sister, although they don't have the same exact hair type as me, they have somewhere similar, with curly hair. And he was like, yeah, your hair is not hard to deal with. I do insert my little sister's name. I do my little brother's name. I do da 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 da, and their hair is not hard to deal with. Da da da. I'm like, what? He's like, even my hair don't take that long, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, your hair, mind you, his hair is like pin straight. It probably gets a little wavy when it's like longer, but his hair is pin straight. And he wants to try to sit there and tell me how long it takes to do my hair. Bitch, shut the fuck up. So literally, I was like, your hair is not as difficult to deal with as mine. I'm not saying you don't struggle at all, but it's not as difficult to deal with as mine. He says, "Oh, just because you wear a straight wig doesn't mean you know about straight hair." What the fuck are you talking about? I never mentioned my wig. I never mentioned my wig. It's common sense that straight hair is a little bit more easier to manage initially than curly hair. Like, I never mentioned the wig. So it's not the first time he's done that. He also used to call me and my siblings the N word as a quote unquote joke, a funny, lighthearted joke. He's shown very prejudiceness towards Asian people, towards Jewish people, towards even his own like Mexican, like, yeah, 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 right? This is the person my mom wants to defend so badly, right? So he's been like that. So it didn't surprise me, right? He literally used to call me and my siblings like N words as a joke. And so I started calling him Cracker. One day, my mom sits me down and she's like, "Oh, can you please stop calling her man a cracker because it makes him uncomfortable?" I said, "But he can call me the N word after I've expressed how uncomfortable that makes me. As when you, a white man, is calling me the fucking N word? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sorry. To the white community, what's y'all obsession with saying the N word? What is the obsession? Because when it comes to other groups, other ethnicities, other races, we tiptoe around their slurs as we should. But why don't black people get that same respect? Anyways, right? Calling me the calling me the N word, whatever. That was in the past. We're talking about the present. He called me a slave on Juneteenth. So yeah, at that point, I was over it. The conversation was slowly coming to an end. The argument at that point, and my mom ended it with, "You have 6 months to get your stuff together. Otherwise, you're going to have to live with a roommate, move out. I don't know where you're going to go." Like, be fucking for real. Y'all know I don't have nobody. When she said go be with a roommate, aka you could be homeless, she didn't say it straight out her mouth like that, but that is the assumption because you know I don't have nobody. You know I don't have family because bitch, you don't got no fucking family. You know I don't have nobody to really go to at this point. So why would you say that? Like, how could you say that to your own daughter when, mind you, before my mom met my stepdad, she was going through the same thing, trying to figure it out, didn't have her own apartment. Only reason why she's sitting so comfortably telling me this bullshit is because my stepdad worked to provide for their little family, right? So moving on, she told me that. My stepdad chimes in and he's like, "Oh, nah, you got 6 months to move out. You got 6 months to move out. And hopefully it takes less than 6 months." Yeah, bitch, I did it in 3 fucking weeks. How about that? Whew, sorry, y'all. I did it in 3 weeks, bitch. How the fuck about that? So all of that happened, and you guys, I felt my world crashing down. I came here for refuge. I came here for safety. I came here to build myself up, and all because I quit my job. Mind you, I got this job as soon as I touched down here in PA. Literally, I got it in a week or two. Do you know how bad the job market is? That is a blessing. And I quit it after about 3, 4 weeks because of all the stress. And mind you, I'm not the only one that quit. So why are we acting like I'm just lazy and don't want to do shit? So I felt my world crashing down, y'all. Literally, I was in the middle of the street at night, going on nightly walks constantly. I was crying. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I wanted to end myself. I wanted to end myself. I did. I wanted to leave this world because I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. I didn't have nobody. I couldn't go nowhere. What was I gonna do? I had money saved up, thank God. But what was I gonna do? I didn't know how to get an apartment. It's not like my mom was gonna sit there and help me walk through the stages of how to get an apartment. No, it's just figure it out and do it on your own. And so that's what I did. I spent weeks, ever since that argument, I spent weeks getting my shit together. I kept my mouth shut. I stuck to myself, you know. And yeah, the next following weeks, I just searched and searched and searched. I applied to about two, and thankfully, one did not accept me, but you know, a closed door eventually leads to an open door, and I got approved for this apartment. It was very swift getting this apartment. Thank you so much, Lord and universe and ancestors, for that. And yeah, I kept it to myself, y'all. Move in silence. When you have blessings coming your way, move in silence. I didn't let any of them know. None of them know. Absolutely not. Y'all do not get to share my greatness. If you don't care for my downfall, I mean, if you're not here for me when it's my downfall, you can't be here for my greatness. And so I just kept it to myself the entire time. Throughout this time where I was trying to get my shit together, um, my stepdad was doing things to make me visibly uncomfortable, right? So he would, for example, he used to come home late at night, slam the door. I'm talking about slam the door crazy hard. Stomp up the stairs, stomp around the house. Mind you, he sees me visibly sleeping and he's talked to me about quote unquote being loud when the kids are sleeping and be mindful everybody's sleeping. But he sits there and does that. In the morning, early in the morning when everybody would wake up, I'd still be sleeping. Um, he would turn on the brightest light in the house, which is the dining room. I slept in the living room, y'all. I was sleeping on the couch the entire time. That couch I was filming on, I slept on it. I did not move from that couch. I didn't want to move because it wasn't my house, right? Because as soon as we got into an argument, this is my house and her man. This is my house. This is my shit. This is my shit. So I didn't want to be there. I felt very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. I've never disrespected anybody's house, and it was very pointless of him to say that to me. So he was doing things to make me visibly uncomfortable. Like I said, seeing me sleep at the crack of dawn. And as soon as he wake up, he turned on the brightest fucking light. And it was the blue light, the bluish, whitish light, the hospital light, bright as fuck in my face early in the morning. He had people come over to the house, didn't tell me, and the only reason why I'm saying he did not tell, like why it's important he didn't tell me, is because again, I'd be sleeping in the living room looking bummy, looking crazy. Like at least give me a chance to fix the living room up, right? Didn't care, didn't respect my privacy, didn't respect nothing. My mom as well does not respect my privacy at all. Eavesdropping on my conversations, eavesdropping when I film a YouTube video. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Doing things to make me purposefully uncomfortable. Seeing I'm sitting on the couch. Clearly, I don't want to sit next to you. And he would plop himself on the couch in front of me and sit. Like, just a fucking weirdo. Like, weird as fuck. So, anyways, eventually I found this apartment and I moved out as quick as I could, you guys. I only told him the day before. Literally, I told her. I haven't spoke to him since he called me a slave, and I don't want to. Okay, but I spoke to my quote unquote mother the day before, and yeah, that was that. She helped me move. I'm thankful for that. At the very least, that's the least she could do. And yeah, at this point, I have no plans to really continue a relationship with my mother. Definitely not with that man, but my mother as well. Like she gotta go. But anyways, yeah. Funnily enough, and I just want to let you guys know, karma is real. I don't care who doesn't believe in karma, who does. Karma is real. Let's end this story off with a bang, okay? Um, when I told my mom I was leaving, she basically came to me the day after when I was actually moving. Okay, because I told her the day before, right? July 4th, she came to me as I was, getting my shit together, and she was talking about how her and my stepdad or her man are getting a divorce. Yes, they are married. They got married like a year or two ago. She talked about how they are supposedly getting a divorce because of he has one foot in, one foot out, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, whoo, thank God I don't gotta be here for that. Thank God I don't have to be here for that, because as much as they want to act like I hate my siblings and blah 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 blah, I used to always tell them to never argue in front of my siblings because I know what it did to me as a child, seeing my father and my mom argue in front of me all the time. But they still do it anyways because that's called being selfish. Okay. But anyways, that's the end of my story, y'all. I got my shit together. I left. No, I don't talk to that man. It's fuck that man. She asked me why do I hate him? I don't hate that man. I don't. Hate is given too much energy for me. I don't have that much energy to invest into a person right now. I just simply don't care for him and I don't like him. Period. He called me a slave on Juneteenth and been doing and saying racist shit like that. Like he's one of those white people that are like, oh, why can't I say the N word? What are you gonna do? He's one of those. So hates, I just don't like him. Period. But yeah, she told me her and him, mind you, this is the same girl that was sitting back chilling comfortably in this man couch, you know, telling me I got 6 months and he telling me I gotta move out real soon, blah blah blah. Again, this man is this. He's one of those people. As soon as you get into an argument with him, he start bringing up shit he did for you. Mind you, this is shit he could have offered to do for you. Oh, you're in my house. You're in my stuff. You're wearing my stuff. That's my phone. I didn't want to be there no more. And now, look, she's experiencing the same thing. The same man she was so busy defending, she's experiencing the same thing as we speak. Don't we love to see it? And I am on to better things, y'all. I'm in my own apartment, thankfully. Everything is going well for me. I'm keeping afloat, and it will continue to stay that way. All right. Shout out to all y'all who have been here on this journey with me. I really, really appreciate it. Again, if you've ordered a reading from me, please be patient, y'all. I have a life. I don't mean that to come off rude, but like I got a life, y'all. And life be lifing sometimes. But it's time to get back on my shit for real. So yeah. I just also wanted to say that I am starting a Twitch account. I will be streaming more because again, I am in my own place, and so I have more time to dedicate to you guys. So go join my Twitch. It is Hot Chocolate with a capital S at the end and five. Hot Chocolates, capital S, and a five at the end. Okay. And yeah, I will be streaming tonight at what time is it? I will be streaming tonight at 10 o'clock sharp. 10 o'clock sharp PM. Okay, go join. I'm gonna post about it and you better join. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Mwah. And yes, you guys may be getting a apartment video, whatever. I don't know. I kind of got to set it up. As you guys can see, like I'm kind of doing my thing or whatever. It's looking real cute. But I still have a lot more decorating to do. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.